Hi everybody, welcome to Paper Wishes Weekly Webisodes. I'm Lene Gehrig, and today from our friends at Stamperia, I have got a fantastic collection. This is Bauhaus, and it's a very German design house back from the early 20s to 30s, and it's very retro, very cool. I can't wait to show you more projects like this one, very artistic. So come back and play with us. All right, so let's take a look at what comes in this beautiful 8x8 paper pad. And as I said, Bauhaus was a design house, German design house that was from 1919 to 1933. And a lot of these sayings are from their school of thought, which would be art, technology, nature, a new unity, beautiful and useful, form ever follows function. You might have heard that a lot in design, interior design, home design, architecture, and they really believed in combining art and design. So this is very modern, very retro. You might just see a lot of furnishings in here and household items that are very familiar to you. I just think it is so cool, and I've got some really fun projects to show you. I just love these little characters. And then we've got some little cut-aparts right here. And I love this one with all the coffee cups and the kitchenware and the fonts. Got some interior design here. And I love all the little sketches, wonderful tags. Look at this one with all of the writing here and the borders. Bauhaus design. And then we've got lots more cutouts. All right, so let's take a look. Oh, let's take a look at the die cuts. There are 45 of these, and they are so much to see. I just love these. These are so cool. All right, so let's take a look at my first project. Well, the first thing I knew I wanted to make, sort of an art journal or a planner. So I started off with just a composition book. This is the great time of year, you guys. If you like to sketch out your art projects, your card making, your scrapbooking, your paper crafts before you make them, or if you've seen a great idea and you want to keep track of it, I like to stock up on these because it's back to school time and they're very inexpensive. We got to make them look pretty, so what I did with this was I took 2 sheets of paper. Let me show you which ones I used, because this is an 8x8 format. I started off with half of this sheet and glued that right down there, and I didn't cover, I just sort of made it flush with, I just put the paper flush with the binding right here, okay? And then I took this page right here that we looked at right here, and I just cut the bottom part of that and used that border right there, okay? And then I used the cutouts from the inside front cover here, and then used chipboard here and here. And that's all there was to it. Then I took a strip of olive suede paper. And if you're not familiar with our suede paper, it is like, it's fabric on one side and it has a texture like suede. And then on this side, it's paper. So it die cuts beautifully, it cuts beautifully. A sheet of this, and just it goes a long way, you know, and I love to use this on different projects. So I just put a little strip of it right there. I love the texture of it. And then inside, this is where I would just make my little drawings of designs for cards that I want to keep track of. And just do really simple shapes for those. You could put tabs to divide these. So yeah, I really recommend a little design journal if you love to keep track of those things like I do. So that's sort of my thought process there. Now, for this one, this is a 5 by 6.5 inch card, and I used this beautiful paper right here. I just used that portion of it. I'll just put it right there. And then first I covered my card with black cardstock, and then I just cut this down a little bit smaller. Just glued that paper that I showed you right on top, and then these are all chipboard pieces. And what I did was I glued a few of these down, this one, and then these are foam taped, so they're a little bit higher, and then this one is double foam taped. You can see it's even higher than the little coffee pot, so it sticks up above this one. And then I just added just a note, And that was from this sheet of black tiny words and phrases. I liked the font. It's just a very simple and clean font that goes well with this. All right, and then I have two projects that I want to make with you here. So we're gonna start off with a card. Oops, got my little Post-it note on this one. All right, so I started off with a 5 by 6.5 inch card, and then I cut 2 inches off of just the front right side. Okay, so we have a little flap here. And then I took another piece of white cardstock right here, and this is 5.5 by 4.5. And then I scored it just 1/2 inch right over here. Okay, so now it's 5 by 4. And what we're gonna do is we're gonna glue that on that side. We're gonna glue that down so that we have sort of this flap situation going on. All right, so let's move on to card that is covered. So I started off by covering the inside back with red cardstock, and then use some of that great paper right here, cut it a little bit smaller than the flap, and then added, these are straight line dazzle stickers, and I used the gold sheet. This is very mirrored, okay? So I added a thick one and a thin one right here along that right edge. And then on that piece that's going to be our flap, I added this really cool, very, very retro circle paper. And I'm gonna glue that on. Got to grab my glue. Okay, this is Cosmic Shimmer Specialist Acrylic Glue. We're just going to add some of that right along. And we want to make sure we get it along the fold there. Just going to make sure that that is centered on the card. Just going to fold that right over. All right, so now we've got this cool flap. Now we're going to take some of these chipboard pieces. This chair I think is so cool, and it's picking up the black and the red right here. Just going to add some more glue here. Just like that. I didn't want to get it too far down on the legs because I didn't want it to get on the back of the card. And then we've got, these are one of these little cutout pieces from the inside front cover right here. I put some foam tape on the back of that, and I put foam tape just on this side of it, so this side can just sort of lean against the chair. I'll put a little glue there. Beautiful and useful. And then I've got another piece that has foam tape on it. A good design turns the basics into a work of art. That one is going to go right here. Okay, so when we open it up, we have that piece. And then finally, I'm going to take one of the, oh, come here, it's running away from me. One of these tags, Living with Art, we're going to put that right here. So that is covered by the flap. And then I've got my little tiny words and phrases. And I thought we would just add, how about just wherever we want to like theme this card. It could just be a just because. If you have a friend who's just really into art and design, this is for them to send a card to, for sure. You know what? And a pokey tool is really nice to apply these tiny little words, and I forgot mine. So I'm going to make do with my little scissors. And you just use this to kind of take out those little pieces that are stuck in there. There we go. All right, so we've got our card with the flaps. And I love how we've got the stripes going right here. There we go. All right, I've got another project for you. This one, I just felt like this whole collection sort of screamed collage. So I am going to use a canvas and also some of these ivory flowers from Graphic 45. So what are we going to do with this? I'm using a lot of scraps. So let's start with what we're going to do with this canvas and how I got it to look like this. I need my craft mat here. I wanted to do one that was ahead of time and dry because this is a really wet process. So you start off with a little canvas. This is one that I think it's 8 by 6, yeah, and I got this at the dollar store. It's a buck. The dollar store was $1.25, right? If you know, you know. All right, so then I'm using some water reactive ink pads. I've got Friar Brown, Pine Green, and Plum Jam. And then what I'm going to do is just take the surface of these ink pads, that right here, here, and I really don't want those oval shapes, so I'm just going to kind of go like that. And then we've got Plum Jam. I want lots of Plum Jam. Okay, and then we're going to take a little Friar Brown, get some up here. Of course, this is not going to be the same exactly as the dry one, but we're going to get the idea here. The colors just end up in a different spot. Then we're going to take some clear water, and the sprayer is very important. And we're just going to really get that canvas pretty wet. Right, and then we're just going to take, I like to just use like wet wipes, and we're just going to kind of move this around. And then, I know this is really strange, but I like to go back when it's wet and then just add more color. And when that dries, it's gonna look like this. And then once you have this, because I know it seems like we took the color off, go along the edges of it. Okay, and that's gonna color the sides of your canvas. All right, so we already have our one that's dry. All right. Oops, I forgot to do my flowers. All right, so we're going to do the same thing with the flowers. Just a couple of these little guys. Do that one, probably that one. All right, so for this one, it's going to do some Plum Jam. Green. And the top will have some brown. There we go. And for these, I don't want to get them soaking. I just want some water splatters on those. So we're going to just let those sit there for a minute while we move on. All right, so here we go. So I've got some scraps left over here from the other projects. We're going to take this one. We're going to glue that right down there. And my thought behind this is I'm going to make this for my little craft studio, wherever you're working on your crafts, or a friend who might have a craft studio, or just wherever it is, in your family room even, that you work on your space. This could go on a small easel. Okay, and we've got this side and this side. I really like this side. It's got all these drawings and things on it. Oops, it's upside down. There's some print on there that's upside down. There we go. And then we've got this one, which is so cool as well. I'm gonna glue that right there. And then I love this one. That one right there. And you could use hot glue for this as well if you wanted it to dry very quickly. And for me, collage is taking several like items and like colors and putting those together in sort of a balanced fashion. And in this particular way, these are already, the colors are already going to be going together, the theme is already going together. So it's really a great way to experiment collage if you've never done that before. And I love these corner pieces, that right there. And then that is just so Picasso, right? So we're gonna have to add that. Now we've got this piece. I'm glad I'm using glue because I want to move her over. I could put that there and have a corner piece on each side. All right, now we've got all these great circle pieces, which I love. Put those there. And then we've got this great, the ability to create beautiful things makes you an artist. And I think that's very true. And who says they're beautiful? You do. You say they're beautiful. We're gonna put that, I think we're gonna put that right there. And then this one is art in everyday life. And then I would just hang this with a little piece of ribbon on the back of it. And then when this is dry, this will look great in your little art space, wherever that may be. We've got this one that says style. Oh yeah, I don't even need that piece. Right, so that's just our little artistic collage piece using scraps, these chipboard pieces. So I love that. I can't wait to hang that. Oh, we forgot our flowers. I knew I was going to forget those. All right, so we've got our flowers. Do you see how I just sprayed those, just a little bit of water, so they've got some splash marks on them? And put this one right here. And these would look great with some foam tape too, but we're just going to go ahead and layer those. Just like that. All right, so we're done. You guys, we've got a great money saver on this collection. If you appreciate retro art and things that are very stylized, then this is for you. Or if you know somebody who does, I think it's a beautiful collection. I love the concept. It's really fun to work with. So we have a great money saver on the right-hand side of the screen. If you look down below, we have items that are individual that you can just place into your cart. If you're watching us on YouTube, hi, give us a thumbs up. It really helps people find our channel. And the link to this webisode page is down below the video in the description box. And hey, subscribe. We do 4 to 5 videos a week, and we wouldn't want you to miss a thing. Thanks for joining me today, and I will see you next time.